Holy emergency substitutions. This is Flight Check, Season 2, Episode 29. We're back, finally, talking all aspects of League of Legends as a whole, with a dash of FlyQuest on the side. My name, as ever, is Sandy Toes, and to my left and my extra left, back after our 3-4 week hiatus, who's counting, my fellow hosts, Nox War and Curly Double Q. Gentlemen, it's been a long, hard road without any Flight Check to talk through.
Oh my goodness.
FlyQuest content to discuss, but there is an oasis in the desert for us. Worlds begins Thursday, and at least Nox and I will be attending different parts of Worlds at various points in it, so we'll get that on the ground reporting. But let's just start. How are you guys? It's been a while.
Bro, it is Chicago.
Yeah.
It was so cool, man.
Curly was at LCS Finals.
Yeah, so I know everyone was like hyped up for like the trophy presentation ceremony, for the finals ceremony, like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It hit so different just being in the thick of all that. Like one thing I talked about with some people is like specifically Drx. Like, you know how they like everyone's like, this is what this person did. Here's the person, standing ovation, moving along to the next.
Right.
Looking back at the video, it only took about like maybe an extra second or two for Drx. But in that moment, like when you're in there, it felt like people just paused the whole like show to give him his moment, like for a while. And like the same thing when Blabber had his MVP chance at the end of everything. Like it was just so amazing being in that crowd. And then another thing was like, I think a lot of it is because it was in a hockey arena instead of a football arena like the Astrodome. You're able to get the stands like way closer to everyone. And so it's just like, you feel like you're right there on the stage with the players and everything. It was just so amazing and wonderful. And then also we just happened to be right by the 100 Thieves tunnel. So like seeing them come up every time was like, it was pretty cool. Also, as always, ran into like the like Kangas. I think Kangas is going to be the guy that I just always run into at any LCS event ever, because I saw that man 3 times every day. Every day.
That's hilarious. Yeah, one thing I'm definitely... So I'll be at second half of main event group stage in the Hulu Theater, and I've seen some pictures, but it definitely looks like a much more intimate setting. I'm really excited about that. You know, I feel like I'll be able to reach out and touch the computers myself. Like, that'll be pretty dope. Well, I'm glad you had such a good time. Nox, how about you? What's the last month been like? I guess, technically, finals was only 2 weeks ago, so, you know, there hasn't been a lot of time since then.
Yeah, didn't get to catch any of it. Was on vacation, and a lot of people who follow us already know this, but I got engaged. So
Woo!
that was cool. That's neat. But yeah, so I didn't catch any of the league stuff. I basically came back and was like, "Oh, wow, Cloud9 just ran it, huh?"
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh,
yeah. Because I saw that Thursday and Friday match, and then the Saturday and Sunday one, like I didn't know. I just didn't track it or anything. And so I came back and was like, wow, that was not how I expected things to turn out. So yeah, outside of that, basically it's just been go from one place to another, talking to people, getting life affairs in order. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of nice that things are settling down a little bit and I can actually start being a nerd again.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty excited too. I mean, Worlds is always, you know, the best time of the year. I mean, all of my favorite things come together in this like September, October time frame. So you've got baseball playoffs, You know, the English Premier League season is really in full swing. The NFL is back. And then obviously Worlds. It's just like so many amazing things all the way back. And I'm just super excited for all of it. Do you guys have any reflections that you want to share maybe on, I mean, Cloud9's run, where they just absolutely ramped up all the way through playoffs?
Dominated, man.
Just complete domination. Maybe just some quick reflections on that just to close out the LCS season for us. I mean, it was just incredible seeing how good they got. But, in my opinion, like, we shouldn't be that surprised because this is a team with probably, definitely the best AD carry in the league, in my opinion, in Berserker.
Oh, yeah.
Jensen finally, like, got back to his normal, you know, form. You know, you have to remember with Jensen, he had a whole split off. And so he's finally back to the, you know, level that we expect him to be playing at. Fudge back in his comfort zone in the top lane. And as Sven said, an absolute psychopath jungler. And finally, after being literally a whole split behind everyone else in terms of synergy and development, Cloud9 finally gets it together, and they look so good heading into Worlds. I mean, what's your level of excitement for this team? They're in a tough group, and we'll get into that later, maybe in a future episode. But I'm pretty excited to see what this team can do.
So, if they maintain the level that they showed in the last... Well, I can only comment on the... Well, I can't even really comment because I didn't catch the games. But from the few highlights that I saw... Because I did see the CLG Cloud9 game, or the series rather, right? And that was a very close series, and it was very highly contested, and it was honestly probably Cloud9's hardest best of series this playoffs, right? I think if Cloud9 comes into Worlds and that's how they play, it's not going to be a good time. Not to say that CLG was bad, but like that level of play is just not going to cut it. However, if they come in and they play like they were against Evil Geniuses and 100 Thieves, then I'm very excited to watch this team. So with that said, though, historically over the past summer, as you were just highlighting, Sandy, they were kind of just struggling to get it together. Their synergy just wasn't quite there. They were making mistakes here and there. And you could kind of see it in that CLG series. And then I don't know what happened in that week gap between CLG and that 100 Thieves series. But they just, it clicked. It was there. It was done. They got it. So if they maintain it, I'm excited. But I'm like, did you guys fluke into that? Did you just happen to figure out how you were supposed to play on that particular meta? Because Worlds is a whole new meta. It's a whole new patch. It's a whole new game. So I'm skeptical but hopeful, if that makes sense.
I mean, there's definitely some concern for me that, you know, Sven, all he had to do as a support was lock Yuumi and Lulu and press a couple buttons.
He said it himself. He's like, just locking Yuumi and Lulu, go team.
Yeah. So if he has to switch to some more engage-heavy supports, you know, is he going to be able to play that? Is he going to look, you know, as good as you know, can on a Enchanter support? Curly, how about your thoughts on finals and just like the playoff weekend, how it all kind of wrapped up?
So, summary of playoff weekend, like from strictly a like gameplay standpoint, is number one, we haven't talked about Evil Geniuses yet, and I do say they did really good considering the circumstances. Like being able to push 100 Thieves to that game 5, despite like this being the first stage games with Cowrie, which also huge props to Cowrie for being thrown in at such a time, because like you are the substitute for an ADC who's had a lot of pressure put on him considering his previous finals appearance. You are on the most packed, like a huge stage in one of the most packed venues that I've seen from, especially after finally getting back into live esports. and you are still able to perform solidly enough to make sure that 100 Thieves get to game 5, and the 2 games you win, you're very present. Like, huge props to them, and it makes me very, like, we'll talk more about them in a minute for all of play-ins, but it makes me comfortable in their ability to perform in the upcoming tournament. But then also for 100 Thieves, like, they were able to figure it out. And then I think after game 1 was C9, like you said, they were able to make things click really well as a team, and they were able to play things together. And I think all of these players have something about them that thrive on stage. Like, they take the energy from the crowd, they take that pressure, and it makes them excel. Whereas 100 Thieves, ever since we've gotten to live audiences, it seems that they don't show up in these finals appearances, you know, because like the 5-game series on Saturday wasn't very clean, but I'm hoping they'll be able to clean it up for that. But with C9, like, honestly, due to what I've witnessed over the course of this split, the development of this roster, and then more importantly, just some other research I've done and like history and all that stuff, I am ridiculously hype for this C9 team. And I'm like probably huffing all of the hopium, but like normally I wouldn't be like, hell yeah, C9. I want this team to succeed, and I really believe they have the ability.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I'm going back.
That's my take.
It was not that year. What was the year?
It was 2017. They were in the same group they are in now.
Yes, that was exactly what I was looking for. You know, I understand the LPL has leveled up a lot in the last several years, but I do want to just point out who was on EDG at the time. If I can find it.
I mean, there's that 3-way mid lane matchup again between Faker, Jensen, and Scout.
Yes,
that's
so you had at the time you had Mouse, Clearlove, Scout, iBoy, and Mako. Interestingly enough, you still have Scout and Mako. Obviously, the rest of the team has changed. You've got Flandre, JJ, and Viper. You know, this is a Worlds winning team. They did win Worlds last year. So I feel like they have upgraded since that 2017 roster, in my opinion. But I'm still really excited to see what Cloud9 can do against them. And I'm really excited to see what Cloud9 can do against T1, who did not look like the dominant Korean team this year. That was this split. That was Gen G. So very excited to see what Cloud9 can do. And I'm also, my expectations for EG on the lower side, you know, without Danny. But I think that makes it so much more exciting if they do well. So I'm just really looking forward to the whole thing in general. Speaking of the whole thing in general, let's move along to play-ins, because play-ins begin this Thursday. Which is wild.
So excited. I'm so excited.
Goodness.
And little bit of some differences here. There's one additional team in each play-ins group now, so you've got 12 teams in play-ins, 2 groups of 6. And I think
even
we have
better
to
than last year.
And we have to say, I mean, we have to kind of say it. The draw, heavily biased in NA's favor. Let's be honest.
Very much so.
Very biased. Not having to play RNG or DRX. Big win for...
Unless they terribly botch it, and then it's just your SOL.
So, first question from me to you guys. Which group is the more exciting one for you? And I understand if you're going to be biased and say Group A because that's the EG group, but which group stands out to you guys as the most interesting one?
Oh, Group B, all the way. Like, there's not... Like, Group A, I'm sorry. It's so boring unless Fnatic or EG flop. Because, like, it is the most top-heavy, I would say, where everything else is going to be like, all right, who's going to be 3 through 6, etc. Group B, not only does it have LPL, LEC, and LCK. It also has Saigon Buffalo.
Yeah.
And so you've got 3 of the major regions that get the most spots that are expected to be dominant. So everyone's going to be looking at which one of them doesn't make it. But then you have Saigon Buffalo, which to me has been the most exciting team to watch internationally, no matter what the result is.
Yeah.
Because they make the game so fun. And it's... So Group B is really interesting to me. Especially, there is always, hypothetically, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is always the way that Saigon Buffalo is able to take, their game against each of the major regions somehow in a fluke and just casually make it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Nox, how about you?
Yeah. So it's funny because you know how play-ins was broken down in tiers, right?
Yes.
Tier 1, which was the LCK4, LPL4, etc., whatnot.
Yep.
So if you look at Group B, if I remember correctly, the 2 teams that were considered the tier 3 teams, quote unquote, were Isurus and Istanbul Wildcats, right? Turkey and Latin America.
Yep.
So they're tier 3, but then your tier 2s are probably the 2 best tier 2s against probably the 2 best tier 1s, right? So that's as close as you're going to get in terms of upset potential. And so you got four teams that can all potentially take games off of each other. So I'm going to go Group B. I will, however, say Group A recently, I don't know how much you guys want to put weight into Scrimbucks or anything. But, so obviously, I would say all 3 of us are predicting most likely Evil Geniuses and Fnatic to be 1-2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
One of those is correct.
I think it's a very interesting discussion. We can say, why don't we just say for the sake of the argument, yeah, they can be 1-2.
Okay, for the sake of the argument, 1-2. Obviously, Japan, that nation focused me, has always been solid recently, right? So more than likely a good chance that they're finishing in the 3rd forward range. PCS, Beyond Gaming, as awful as they've always been in group stage, they always do well enough in play-ins, right? Enough to at least make it to the best of 5s. So that leaves Oceania and Brazil. I want to hype this up a little bit because Brazil recently has been on the come-up. I'll be honest, I haven't been able to watch any of Brazil's games from Loud. But, and this is where the Scrimbucks come in, I've heard very, very good things about this Chiefs Esports club in scrims. They've been actually giving North America a run for their money in scrims, along with various other teams. They've been doing very well. So do not sleep on Group A. I think a lot of people are kind of thinking it's not going to be all that amazing because it's just these are some of the weaker Tier 2 and Tier 3 teams, but I think people are going to be very happily surprised by this Oceania team that's going to come in.
Chief Esports, I'm looking at their record. They were undefeated all season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a good team.
I remember hearing that Chiefs, basically it was them and Pentanet, 2 OS super teams. And the big thing about the Chiefs that's really interesting to me is that so many of the players in it played in NA. So you had Tapoon, I believe Tally did, Raze as well. Bobip is coaching them. I don't think... Yeah, Aladoric did not, and I don't think Arthur did either. But Arthur is an ex-LCK jungler. So you've got that. And then Tally... I believe Tapoon was on Immortals. Tally was on Golden Guardians Academy for a split. And then Raze obviously was on Immortals for a year as well. So you've got...
Yeah.
Players who did try to make the leap over, but now because they were the cream of the crop in OS, but now here they are back in OS, absolutely dominating, and that was really clearly shown by their regular season and playoff performance. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how they go. I will be honest, I do not invest in Scrimbucks. I have been burned one too many times by the, NA's doing okay in scrims, TSM stomping in scrims, Team Liquid stomping in scrims, 100 Thieves is crushing in scrims, and then we go 3-3 and don't get out of groups. So I take scrim results as with a huge heaping of salt, but
as do I. As do I.
I think definitely Group B is interesting because you would assume it's going to be DRX, RNG in the 1-2, whatever order you want to put them, probably RNG, right? So whoever, is the 3-4 in Group A has to play DRX or RNG. That is a tall order. So if you are EG or Fnatic, you really do not want to drop more than one game. These are best of ones. You get to play 5 of them. Historically, the PCS number 2, not that strong. I feel like, there's a pretty solid 3 wins available for both EG and Fnatic. But I'm curious to see what the upset potential is from teams like DFM, from teams like Chiefs. But I also feel like the whole group could be shifted because of the Fnatic COVID-19 news. And if you're not up to date on that, it's basically Upset and Hillsong both have COVID-19. They most likely will not make it to play-ins. Most likely.
Maybe. So here's the thing. I'm not gonna say this officially, but I know I have, because I'm not gonna say this claim because I'm not in the room where it happens. But I have a small Discord I'm a part of, where everyone there went to LEC finals. They partied with Fnatic, etc., etc. Someone, like a Fnatic team member, posted a picture of a negative COVID test. And so we assume Hillsang, at the very least, could be at the play-in stage. Unclear about Upset, but Hillsang, I believe, was the one that was in reference to this test. Now, again, I'm not confirming anything because this wasn't an official statement from the Fnatic team member, but
totally fair.
That's what I have seen from my inside circle.
So
we might see Hillsang at play-ins,
which could be good. I think until that happens, I'm going to stick with what the team has officially announced, right? Which is right now it's going to be Bean and Rux, right? Which, first of all, if Rux plays Portugal on the main stage at Worlds, let's go, baby. Our time to shine. But we have to be honest. Bean is a downgrade from Upset. Rux is a downgrade from Hillsong. So what does that do to this group? Does that open up a place for a random Upset win to come in from, no pun intended, from a DFM, from a Beyond, from a Chiefs?
I'd say yes.
And I think that throws the whole group into some severe chaos.
For sure.
And I think the knockout stage of play-ins could be very fascinating, where you have Mad Lions or Saigon Buffalo, Mad Lions versus Saigon Buffalo, to try to play a Beyond Gaming for a group stage spot, or playing EG. So I think there's some really strong teams in play-ins, and some very popular teams, very interesting teams, and several of them are going to disappear. I mean, we can only send out 4 teams out of these 12. 8 of these teams are going to be gone by next, Tuesday? Or not next Tuesday, but 2 Tuesdays
this
from
Sunday.
now.
2 weeks, yeah.
Well, the qualification round...
4 of them will be gone. 4 of them will be gone.
Yeah, 4 of them will be gone after Sunday. 2 more after Monday, and 2 more after Tuesday. So in like 8 days, 8 teams of these 12, which
Just going to be chopped.
right now, if I had to, make a couple predictions, I'm gonna go ahead and say that Wildcats and Isurus probably on the chopping block.
I'm gonna put Loud, unfortunately, also on the chopping
I'm also
block.
gonna say Loud is also probably on the chopping block. I hate to
And
say
Beyond.
it. I would love to see Loud do well. I'm actually going to. I'm gonna be a little. What's it called? Contrarian here. DFM has not been that exciting for me after recent international performances. If you look at, what they've done, they've gone at MSI 2021. They went 2-4 in play-ins. At Worlds 2021, I think they made it to. They made it to.
They made it to the groups for the very first time ever.
They made
after
it to
beating
groups for the
Cloud9 in a tiebreaker match.
Yeah, and then they proceeded to go 0-6. And that MSI 2022, this year, they did not make it out of play-ins. Right? Yeah, they went 1-5. And interestingly enough, here's the team that they were in a group with. They dropped 0-2 to Saigon Buffalo. So,
Yeah.
Now obviously they don't have to play Saigon Buffalo in their group.
Yeah.
But I think
DFM's been low performing this year.
Right. So, I think for me it's between DFM and Chiefs for that 4-5 spot.
I think, personally, I'd put Beyond as 5th place.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Knox, where are you feeling? What teams are kind of on the chopping block for you from the outset?
Yeah, so I agree with Group B, Istanbul Wildcats and Isurus Gaming. They're on the chopping block. Sorry, guys. Not seen enough from you in the past couple international events. I don't trust you. You're probably gone. I will also agree with Loud Gaming. I do think they're going to put up a bit more of a fight than they have in past international performances, but I don't think they're going to make it. And then the final slot is definitely between Beyond Gaming, DFM, and Chiefs, which is very exciting because those are 3 teams where it's like, dang, I actually don't know who I can predict there. I think if I'm going to have to pick one, though, I think it's going to be Chiefs. Just something tells me that even though Scrimbucks are going well and I really want to believe in the koalas, raise your koalas, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think DFM will probably snag that 4th slot, and then I think Beyond Gaming, because for whatever reason, the PCS, that 2nd seed always shows up in play-ins just enough to make it to the best of 5s. They're never that bad to not make it out.
I don't know. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure last year they didn't.
Well, they always make the best of 5s.
You might be right.
They don't necessarily make it to the group stage because.
They won their tiebreaker against Unicorns of Love. That's right.
Yes.
So they barely made it. They barely made it to the best of 5s last year. Big L for UOL last year.
Yeah. So super interesting. All right, so let's narrow it down to NA. Let's talk EG. Where are we feeling them in this group? For me, I do feel, even with the Cowrie substitution, I still feel like top 2 is in order for them. Just based off of the rest of this team, the Impact, Inspired, JoJo, Vulcan, they've had several weeks now to scrim with Cowrie, to play with him, to get that synergy. It'll be interesting to see if the meta is as reliant on the AD carry to just completely, run the game as it has been recently. But for me, they're still very much top 2 in this group. Where are you guys feeling them in Group A?
So I'm actually, if you go by my pick'em submissions, which I've already done, and I will definitely, like, I agree with them wholeheartedly. I'm putting EG as like 4-0. I don't think they're gonna get a single L this whole play-ins.
You mean 5-0 then?
Is it 5-0? Because there's only
it is
5-0.
6 teams in each group. Yeah.
Sorry, then yes, 5-0. I don't think they're gonna lose to anyone.
I am actually going to go ahead and I'm going to have some NA Hopium and I'm going to put EG at first. I do think they're going to do it. Their toughest match was Fnatic, which is on the very first day, and they're having some bot lane issues. So everything is pointing towards, like, if you can beat Fnatic, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to beat the other 4 teams in the group. So yeah. I'm going to say EG gets first. They secure that automatic bid into the group stage, and I will feel so much better, and I can just sit back and relax and watch the best of 5s without being nervous that NA is going to get knocked out already.
Now, the downside is the 2 options of where they get thrown into. I just hope EG doesn't be. But
I mean, if we're like, let's say they end up taking second in this group, right? They probably have to play one of Mad Lions or Saigon Buffalo. In my opinion...
Now I'm nervous.
In my opinion, both of those are winnable best of 5s.
Agreed.
Mad has not won a best of 5 all year. They were garbage in spring, let's be honest. Niski has really leveled them up. Like, I believe he won MVP, right, for LEC Summer?
Yes,
deservedly so. He leveled that team up so much. But they still did not win a single best of 5 in playoffs, and you would expect a team... They dominated regular season, mind you, but could not win a best of 5. They dropped 2 best of 5s and still made Worlds. They have not proven themselves to me. Saigon Buffalo, they are the Vietnam number 2. Vietnam, they're always a very exciting region, but I will also say, you know, you have to kind of play the, like, a little bit of the mental game here. Both GAM and Saigon Buffalo did not get their full team over until, like, last week. So how much time have they really had to scrim and get ready in comparison to some of the other teams? So I think...
because I don't know if anyone's heard of the J366 Beast, who is a huge VCS person, like very, very well in-depth into the scene. GAM and Saigon Buffalo have been non-stop scrimming each other in Vietnam. They are fresh and ready. They just have not scrimmed against international teams.
Well, that would be...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's... not having scrimmed against any international teams is...
Still a bit of a crutch, if you ask me. But at least they haven't been, like, just doing nothing. You know, they've still been grinding it out.
Right.
I also wanted to point out, though, this Saigon Buffalo team did actually beat Gigabyte Marines in the upper bracket finals.
They did, yes.
Back in Vietnam.
You are correct, yes.
And then proceeded to get 3 of the actual grand finals. But,
in the right back, yes.
Yeah. I actually watched the highlights for those. All 3 games were relatively close. Like, it was not a stomp. It was a close 3 games that GAM closed out. So the Saigon Buffalo team is not something you should take lightly. I would be very, very afraid if you actually had to run into them.
Okay, that's reasonable. I hear the take. I still favor EG. But, you know, we'll see how that rolls out. I think ultimately, I mean, you can say what it was, but I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
Go for it.
I think you're going to say, the point is, EG just needs to secure first, and then we don't have to concern ourselves with who they might play in the knockout round.
Precisely.
No, yes. That, and I think if for whatever reason we finish second, I would rather play Mad Lions than Saigon Buffalo.
I agree.
Honestly, yeah. for me, that's what I would like to consider the chaos rule, because I feel like it would be easier to prepare for Mad Lions, whereas I feel like if we prepare for Saigon Buffalo, no matter what, there's going to be that little bit of chaos that's just going to affect everything, and we might just randomly flop.
I'm just looking at the fact that there are, except for day 4, there are 8 games every day. You've got 8, 8, 8, and then a 6. And then you have 2 best-of-5s on Monday and 2 best-of-5s on Tuesday.
It's a lot of content.
That is, like, let's say, that is maximum 50 games just in play-ins. And at a minimum, 42. 42 games minimum just in play-ins alone. That is more than that's more than 2 LCS splits. So there you go.
That's crazy.
More than 2 LCS splits if you only watch your preferred team. So
yeah,
that is a lot of league content right there. All right, let's just hit the RNG versus DRX debate real quick, and then I think we're going to move on to some viewer Discord takes. But yeah, RNG versus DRX. Curly, you've got RNG at the number 1. Knox, how about you?
For sure.
I've got RNG first, DRX 2 personally.
Yeah, that is exactly what I've got. RNG versus DRX.
Here's the thing for me, right? Is actually, I believe that DRX is vulnerable. I feel like they've always been the most vulnerable LCK representative ever since I've watched them. I wouldn't be surprised if Mad Lions somehow... Because here's the thing. Mad Lions, they might not have won a best-of-5 yet. But they have been, like, decent in terms of, like, their regular season performance, especially with Niski there.
Mm-hmm.
So in best-of-1s, I believe there's a chance for them to, like, just win almost every game except against maybe an overpowered Saigon Buffalo and RNG, and end up in 2nd place over DRX.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Before we move to the viewer takes, I want to make. I'm actually going to make my take. This is a take I have. So I only just now opened up the Pick'ems site, and I'm seeing this crystal ball thing, which is super cool.
Oh my goodness!
It's so cool. I love it. I love what
it's
so intense.
I instantly knew how to answer one of these questions, though.
And
so you've got the who will get at least 1 pentakill at Worlds. Flip a coin, pick Deft or pick Gala, because between DRX and RNG, they both play Istanbul Wildcats and Isurus. If you're trying to tell me that RNG and DRX are not going to absolutely destroy those teams, the odds of Gala or Deft getting a pentakill versus Wildcats or Isurus, exponentially high. I think that is an easy pick. Take Deft for your at least 1 pentakill. If you don't want to take Deft, take Gala. It's super simple. Otherwise, you're just really rolling the dice. But that is my hot take there. And now, unless you guys have a retort, we can move on to viewer takes.
Honestly, that retort. But I did have a trivia question for you, Sandy.
Please.
Ooh.
So, Rux is a Portuguese player playing on the world stage, correct?
Uh-huh. Who was the last one?
Yeah.
Attila.
Was the... Okay, cool. You knew right off the
Of course I know! You don't think I know what Portuguese players have played in the LEC and at Worlds? There are only 1, and maybe 2 now, but it's been Attila and it's been Rux. And that's it. That's all we've gotten.
Do Italians ever make it to the international stage? Do they even
Jizuke.
play League?
Yeah, Jizuke.
Jizuke's Italian? I thought he was.
Jizuke's Italian.
His nickname is literally the Italian Stallion.
Yes.
Yay!
All right. We've got some good viewer takes in here. We're going to start with one. He's not a viewer. He's a co-host. Noxwar had a take. in the Discord, which you can join. I'm going to put that in the chat right now. Join the Flight Check Discord and drop your hot take in Curly's hot take oven right now, and we will rapid fire through some of these. 2 North American teams into quarters. All right. So, presumably, we're looking at. This is
for you two to discuss.
We're looking at Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. Let's just say EG doesn't make it, right? But looking at, it's the C9 EDG T1 group. I believe that does mean that Drx and RNG cannot go into that group. So let's say Fnatic makes it out of play-ins. They probably go into that group. Or, it would be... Or Mad Lions, possibly, could go into that group as well. Either way, I actually think that's decently... that's a decent shot. Cloud9 could easily, 2-0 Fnatic or Mad and scrape a win off of EDG or T1 and somehow through tiebreakers make it through. I absolutely can see a world where that happens. 100 Thieves, however, I think they've got a tougher road. They've got the #1 LCK team, and, assuming RNG makes it through, barring, the most insane collapse, Group D is the group that RNG will have to go into. So you've got RNG and Gen G already, and then you've got CTBC Flying Oyster, greatest team name of all time, by the way. I unfortunately right now do not see a world where 100 Thieves beats Gen G and RNG enough to get out into quarterfinals. Now, looking at, however, let's say EG makes it through.
Mm-hmm.
They can go into Group B or Group C. If they go into Group C, where there is Rogue, Top, and Gam, I can absolutely see them beating out Rogue and Gam. So, I give this take, out of 2 possible thumbs up, I give it 1 thumb up. So
Okay.
the scale, just so you all know, it's 2 thumbs down, 1 thumb down, no thumbs, 1 thumb up, 2 thumbs up. Alright, so this gets a 1 thumb up from me.
You know what? I'm on the positive end. I'll take it.
This gets a 1 thumb up. I like it. It's an interesting take. It's hot, but good.
I know I'm normally the hopium guy. I don't know if I can be this time, man. Cause alright, hold on. Let's see how EG did at MSI. That's gonna be what does it for me. EG at MSI went 0-2 to RNG and G2. Oh man. Okay. So they don't know how to deal with LEC or LPL. Yeah, no. I'm just going to say it's doomed because as much as I love the EG roster, the only 2 options for where they could go is Group B, which is literal hell. And Group C, which the only saving grace is if you don't lose to GAM Esports, because I think Rogue, even though they tend to flop internationally, they finally won a championship. That's gotta drive them somewhere, man. And so I think a gassed up Rogue plus Top Esports, which is who I have as the at least right now as my crystal ball. I don't see them winning that. And then 100 Thieves is just kind of cursed. They'd have to yeah, no, I don't think they could really beat RNG or Gen G either. So, yeah, I think C9 is going to be the only quarterfinals representative. Now, granted, I think they can make it to semifinals like they did back in 2018, I believe it was. But, Yeah, no, it's doomed, man. Like, C9 is the hopium for NA, which is something, again, you will rarely ever hear me say.
You don't think being able to play on North American soil with North American fans cheering for you is not going to have a buff for North American teams at all?
Well, didn't do it for 100 Thieves. So...
Well, against another North American team, though.
You know what? You know what? All right. I will say maybe EG will be able to take that buff and overperform in Group C. So EG is the shot out. 100 Thieves is cursed with who would have to be their fourth. I apologize. Unless Mad Lions make it out, in which case then maybe. Now I'm just indecisive. I don't know.
I feel like your grade on this take is a no thumbs grade, Curly.
It is a no thumbs. You gave me a second where I thought there might be a thumb. There's no thumb.
All right. Slurms said, Western Championship team this year. I give this one thumb down. It's not impossible. It's just highly unlikely. One thumb down.
A Western Championship team. So one of
EU or NA
teams. One of 7 teams from the West
technically
will win Worlds.
Technically, Loud and Isurus are also Western teams, and Turkey, and yeah, that's it.
So we're up to 10 teams. So one of 10 teams will win it.
Is Chiefs a Western team?
No. I'd consider in terms of hemispheres. I don't even think Turkey. Oh no, Turkey is part of.
Oh, that's the real debate. Is Australia part of the West?
Geopolitical about this on what Turkey lies in.
Yeah. No. So here's the thing, right? I think what Slurm. We're gonna be realistic here. Slurms was probably specifically meaning the LEC and LCS champions. So C9 or Rogue. Now I could be wrong. If we do expand that to LEC or LCS representatives, period, I still think that is more what they've really meant. In which case, are you gonna pay for a new oven, man? Because
it's smoking out here.
It is.
I call the fire department.
I think I have to shut down the business for a couple weeks. There's not going to be any I need to order a new oven. And unfortunately, you can't get an industrial oven off of Amazon.com as far as I'm aware. So I have to go through my local Cisco provider to see what they've got.
There you go.
So sorry, Slurms. That's a bit too toasty even for me. But if in the off chance it can handle the heat, I'm going to go first and say who I think it is, but I want to hear who you guys think, like, in the chance it is possible, which team it would be. I'm going to say it would be G2. I know this is an NA podcast, but it would be G2. And I'm not going to elaborate on that. That's
Cloud9.
Cloud9?
Cloud9.
Sandy was straightforward on it.
Cloud9.
Yeah, I think if we're taking teams at their absolute peak, I'm taking Cloud9.
I love it.
All right.
All right.
I'm the only trader.
We gotta. We're running low on time, so we're gonna slam through
Speed
these.
run.
FlyQuest signs Kyoto.
I don't know. I don't want to talk rosters yet.
I'm neutral on this one. It's a little
maybe.
It's a maybe. For me, I could see it. I could also not see it. Not sure how I feel on that one. I'm a no thumbs. I'm straight in the middle on that one. Neutral.
No, I'm gonna no thumb that one as well. I actually kind of want to think about this now. Who made this take? Who was this?
TMB.
Someone remind me to think on this, and I'll reply back to TMB because
All right.
There's something there. There's something there. I want to think about
Hey
it.
Siri, set a reminder for Knoxwar to think. Thank you.
Knoxville lost in thinking.
Hang on, I'll get the Android people. Hey Google, remind Knoxwar to.
Okay, added to reminders.
My Siri actually did it. Oh no!
All right. Well, I hope we've added reminders to all y'all's phones now. All right, Ricebox. Back to the world's takes. Ricebox. Damwon Kia will top their group and make finals. 2 thumbs up, baby. Korean supremacy. I love this take. It's so good. Damwon Kia resurrects from the Korean grave, and they use their international experience and stomp on through. Love this take. Can absolutely see it happening.
Thing I'm most excited about is it's just a G2 versus Damwon matchup. That's
twice.
always just hype.
That'll be
Twice.
very fun.
All right, how do you guys feel on that one?
I'm gonna believe in LPL supremacy. Sorry, JDG's gonna win that group.
Well, there we go.
So is a thumbs down, 2 thumbs down, no thumbs?
It's not 2 thumbs down, but it's a thumbs down. It's not happening, but they'll get close. But it's gonna be fun. Actually, what I'm gonna be looking most at with Damwon Kia is Showmaker, because he's the guy that makes me hype for the team, and so I want to see how he performs this year after not making MSI and falling short last year.
Alrighty.
So I'm gonna get a little specific on this. If Damwon plays Nuguri instead of Birdall, they will top the group. If Birdall is playing, they will not top the group.
Fair
So
enough.
I'm gonna give it 1 thumbs up. One singular thumbs up. Because I don't know what Damwon's going to do.
That's fair. All right, this is not a take, but a statement, but I'm including it anyway. Hooley said, "How can LEC expect to make it out of groups when they couldn't even win LCS?" 2 thumbs up, baby. Let's go. EU couldn't win LCS. How are they going to get out of groups? 2 thumbs up. Love it. Fantastic take.
Yep, send it. 2 thumbs up. I'm good with it.
Good.
Excellent.
Yep. I'm in. I'm in.
Arkham says, Cadril will have to continue his subathon after he gets back from Worlds. That's also a 2 thumbs up for me.
What was the context on that?
No idea. All I
He's
know,
live right now, and he has been, and he's still going to be. And technically, due to the subathon lanes, he probably won't be done before he has to literally leave for Worlds. So he's gonna have to pick it back up. This is not a thumbs up. This is a law, a universal truth. It will be the case.
Excellent.
Unless
2
you
thumbs up.
abandon
I needed to
subathon.
hear.
All right.
Needed to hear.
Now we're getting back to some hot takes. We've got 2 massively on fire takes right now. From 100 Talk Cole. Loud gets the Halo effect and gets out of play-ins. Now, I'm not exactly sure what he means by the Halo effect. Maybe if he's in the chat, he can elaborate on this. But Loud did just win Valorant Champions. I know it's an entirely different game. But maybe, just maybe, there is something about the winner's mentality that is going to permeate throughout this organization. Yes. They win one Riot Esport, Org gets a boost. Okay, I was on track with what I thought he meant by this. Okay. Brazil, it's your time to shine. I give this 1 thumb up. It gets a 1 thumb up for me. Great take. Could I see them? Okay, here's the world where this happens. I see it now. They finish 3rd or 4th.
Mm-hmm.
They win their initial best of 5.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, DRX collapses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Mad or Saigon Buffalo that Loud has to face in that final best of 5. And they pull it off. And it's a momentum thing. They ride the momentum.
You know what? Off of that scenario alone, you've got me thinking about it, Sandy, and now I'm hyped. So it's
I
giving
mean,
me a thumbs
like,
up.
think
here.
about it.
Like, I wanna
DRX
see this happen now.
DRX collapse. Mad or Saigon take that number 2 spot in Group B. Loud somehow wins versus DFM, right? And then it's all of a sudden it's Loud versus Mad or Loud versus Saigon Buffalo to get into group stage. I absolutely see it. It's 100% a real scenario that could occur. So there's that one. Yeah, 1 thumb up for me. Curly, what's your thought on that one?
Loud is a hype team. You don't need to give me the scenarios. I'm going to
Excellent.
automatically thumb up this.
Perfect. All right, here's probably the hottest take of the night, and it's our final one, so the best one for last. From Lee, neither DRX nor RNG get out.
Okay, so here's the question for you two. Whose take is hotter, Lee's or Slurm's?
Lee's.
Lee's.
Lee's for sure.
Lee's.
Here's the thing.
I would legitimately, like, if you told me, if you gave me, like, a wizard comes to me and says, behind me are 2 portals. One portal purportedly leads you to a world where a Western team has won Worlds. The other portal, presumably, leads to a world where neither DRX nor RNG made it out of groups. However, one of these portals is fake, and if you walk through it, you will die. Which one are you going to walk through? I'm walking through that Western Championship team portal every single time. There is no world where DRX and RNG, or, where both of them do not make it out of play-ins.
Sandy, I don't know if I'm that invested in league to risk my life for a Western Championship.
Yeah, if they're gonna be like, I would be like, can I just walk out the back door?
Like, is there a third option?
Like I'll just sit here. You got some potatoes and a screen so I can just watch Worlds? Thanks. Like, oh my god. But now here's my interesting thing. I will say, Slurm's take on paper is technically less hot than the DRX RNG one, Lee's. But I believe in the possibility of Lee's take more than Slurm's. Like, I believe that there is a chance. However, Slim, that Saigon Buffalo and Mad Lions top the group out of nowhere, and then RNG and DRX have to hash it out in 3rd and 4th place, or even if one of them are in 2nd, they lose to the representative from Group A, because that would have to be either Fnatic or EG. I'm sorry, I apologize. No, that would have to be that would be 3rd and 4th seed. But I find it as more believable because of how many more different options there are in play-ins than there are, I think, for, like, once you get out of groups. Because if a single NA org gets out of groups, statistically, they have more of a shot to make it to the finals and win it than RNG and DRX have to get it to the group stage in the first place by being down this low, So yeah, I'm giving it a potential thumb up, but like it's like a faded thumb up.
I'm from Gladiator, where he's like sitting here shaking his thumb, like, is it going up? Is it going down?
Yeah, it's yeah.
Well, there you go. All right.
So here's a hypothetical for you guys, really fast.
Sure.
Which is more likely? 2 North American teams making quarterfinals, or 1 of RNG or DRX not making it out of play-ins?
The second one.
The second.
Really? That was a fast answer. I didn't think it was going to be that
like, if you told me DRX doesn't make it out of play-ins, I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay.
There's a fluke world where okay, EG or Fnatic, places 3-4. They win their best of 5, and then they have to go up against DRX. They can beat DRX. I think these are all legitimate scenarios that could occur. So, I absolutely see DRX not making it out. But, so when I say that, though, do I expect them to? Yes. Can I see a world where they don't? Possibly.
Also, yes.
Also, yes. But it would take a lot. Like, it would take a heck of a lot for that to happen. So, okay. We have come to the end of our time. Do you guys have any final thoughts, worlds, conversations that you want to have before we wrap it up and we see you guys back here? Well, next week, the show would be happening while Worlds is going on, so we'll see what we end up doing, but...
Co-stream.
Yeah, co-stream it, or maybe we push it to Wednesday. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what we end up going with. But yes,
I like it. For me, I guess make sure to just root on EG. I think they're gonna perform better than people are giving them the shot for. I think they are going to really absolutely pop off in the play-in stage, and they've got everything going for them, in my opinion, even with the Danny situation. That's an org that I think culturally is set up for success. And so be prepared for there to be 3 NA teams in the group stage. And then you can huff all the hopium in the world so that you maintain that. All right?
Absolutely.
But NA, we're making it. All right? We're making it.
Knox.
I don't have anything outside of, just what Curly said. Hype up EG. Hype up North America. Worlds is here for the first time in 6 years. Like, give our energy, give our support to these North American teams. Like,
absolutely.
I've been watching League now for a decade, which is crazy to me. I want to see some North American teams actually do well and make myself and us as North American fans proud. So, and they will have a better time of doing that if we sit there and we cheer them on social media and wherever else it may be. Like, I know Andrea is going to actually be in this stadium in play-ins cheering on EG, which is hype.
Oh, yeah.
Like, go give them the love. Go give them the support. They deserve it, and I think it'll actually make a difference. I think being here in North America this year, there's it's a hot take, but there's a reason why I made that hot take.
In front of fans.
There's part of me who believes it.
For the first time in 2 years, in front of fans, that's huge. We know some of our teams perform better in front of fans, so I think it's stage buff is real. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the return episode of Flight Check, the first episode of Flight Check International, which will be going on for as long as Worlds is going on. Plans start Thursday. I think first game is at 4 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Eastern time, thank you. And they will be going. There will be a lot. It'll be wrapping up at midnight Eastern time, so plenty of League to catch up on. Be sure to follow us all on Twitter for all our reactions and thoughts to everything going down. You can catch the show at Flight Check Crew, myself at Santos DB, Knox at Knoxwar with 2 R's, and Curly at Curly_QQ_. Make sure to hop into the Flight Check Discord as well. That's where we were grabbing all those hot takes for tonight's show. And if you missed any part of this episode, the VOD will be up on YouTube tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll be getting that audio up on all your favorite podcast spots this week as well. If you're watching or listening to that and would like to catch the show live, we broadcast the episode usually every Monday night. Might be a little weird with Worlds, we'll see, but it's usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here at twitch.tv/FlightCheckCrew. Knox, any final notes, shout-outs, or plugs before we wrap up? I know you've got at least one.
I do. Hopefully, I'm not stealing from you guys, but go watch 100 Talk Pod. They are not necessarily VOD reviewing, but they are watching CDBC's Flying Oysters finals games tonight. So, kind of taking a little scouting report of what 100 Thieves is up against in their group stage. So, go support them. Go watch them. Figure out what's going to be thrown their way in a couple weeks. Outside of that, I'm just hyped for Worlds, man, baby. It's the best time of the year. I'm so freaking excited. Let's go.
You're running Pick'ems in FlyQuest Discord again, correct?
Yes.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, yeah, that thing I do where
I
run
honestly,
pickles.
I was like, all right, well, we're not going to talk about FlyQuest Discord Pick'ems. Okay.
Yes, I am running FlyQuest Discord Pick'ems. Please come to the FlyQuest Discord if you would like to participate. Unlike Riot, I do support that Fiesta. You can do Pick'ems for the group stage of Plains.
Got 'em.
Same rules as always. Basically, each correct prediction is 1 point. When we get the best of fives, correct prediction or the correct team is 1 point, and the correct scoreline is another point. It is split into 2 parts. 1 part for play-ins, 1 part for the actual group stage and knockouts, and then there will be a third one that is like a total of both stages. So just bear that in mind. Everything will be laid out in that spreadsheet when it's updated after the first 4 days of games.
There you go. Curly, how about you? Shout outs, plugs, etc.
Shout outs, plugs. Actually, I'm going to do a huge shout out to Sylvis Productions. They have been dropping a series of like World's hype videos, and every one of them really, really hit. And I've seen them like reach out to like multiple personalities of varying stature in the league community to help it happen. And so go find their YouTube. Give all their videos a watch. They're like, the cinematic trailer is the longest one, and it's 6 minutes long, so they're all really easy to consume, really well done. And then the second 2 are going to be plugs for my things of keep an eye out on the Flight Check channel for Wednesday, and then also on my own personal Twitter, go ahead and take a look at my pinned tweet, because I have made a leaderboard for the official Riot Pick'ems. And so I'm going to be giving out skin and some RP, and I'm contemplating even throwing out a additional skin for Crystal Ball. We'll see if the funds can support it. So yeah, just go join that. It's a real fun time. So join Nox's FlyQuest Pick'ems, join my Riot Pick'ems, and Sandy, what do you got, bro?
What do I got? I don't have any Pick'ems to promote. I might end up creating a Flight Check leaderboard for Pick'ems as well. So if you all want to join on that, I'll post that link in the Discord whenever I make that, probably tomorrow. And other than that, it came out a couple weeks ago while we were on hiatus. But go listen to The Devil Wears Prada's new album, Color Decay. It's fantastic. It's probably going to be my album of the year. It is a
banger album. I do like it a lot.
It's really, really good. So give that a try. See what you think, and tell me in Discord, because we got to roll. All right, we'll be back sometime next week to discuss play-ins, how they're progressing, and what the groups are starting to look like. So for now, stay safe out there. Don't forget to hit the head on the nail, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Adios, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.
Peace, y'all.